Hi everyone. Well, tonight I wanted to share a really spooky experience that happened with me. And if you can hear that in the background, that's my sweet little baby Timothy who is squeaking around because he finds it very odd that I'm sitting in the dark and filming this video. Timothy, it's okay. Okay, well, I would show him to you, but it is very dark on purpose. Just trying to set the mood for this story. Well, it's a real experience that I had. So, getting into the experience, this happened in 2006 to or maybe 2008. I can't really remember the date, but I was visiting India with my dad and we decided to go to a place early morning. We were on vacation and come back home in Delhi. And this was a little bit far from where we stayed. It's actually, if you know anything about the Indian epics, this place is where the Indian epic Mahabharata had taken place, the battlegrounds. It's called Kurukshetra. So it was winter, and when we were returning back, two of my uncles were also in the car, and there was my dad, and I was sitting in front beside the driver. So while returning back, we were crossing the highway. Now it's at this Timothy, it's okay. Sorry about that. I just had to. I don't know why he's making that noise. Maybe I'm creeping him out. But anyway, getting back to the story. So we were traveling on the highway, returning back, and it was winter time. And the highway is super duper crowded here. I mean, there's no pedestrian walking for sure. You can't even set foot on the highway because it's so crowded with vehicles, trucks, and buses, whatnot, traveling. It was like a time where the traffic was at its peak. So we're just traveling like normal. And our driver, by the way, I have to mention this, he was quite experienced, okay? So all of a sudden, the car in front of us, so this is like a very busy road. So the car in front of us, it was a van. I remember it started going zigzag. So this is our car and the other car right in front went zigzag as if, a tire burst or, they were just spiraling out of control. And before we could acknowledge what's going on, now mind you, this road is full of cars and buses and trucks, and it was like 9:30 p.m. at night. Before we could really pay attention to that, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I was sitting in front of my headlight. I saw someone just appear out of nowhere, and I remember now this person just shot up from the ground. Like I didn't even see him walk towards in front of the car because it's impossible to walk. The cars are just driving at full force, full speed. He just shot up in front of the headlight and I literally screamed, "Oh my God." I screamed it at the top of my lungs because I thought we're actually going to kill this person. It never occurred to me that it was not alive. It was not an alive person because before I could blink my eye in less than a fraction of a second, this person just disappeared into thin air. He didn't go left, he didn't go right, he just vanished. And now I'm going to tell you how he looked like, okay? He was having a dark complexion and he was wearing something white. And the way he was just staring, not at us, but towards the traffic light in general. And I remember where his eyes were, they were kind of glowing, where the eye sockets are supposed to be. He had eyes, but they were glowing, they were not normal. And his entire appearance in general was kind of not super hazy, but it just seemed a bit off. And I did notice that pretty clearly because he was right in front of my headlight. And me and my dad kind of jolted, but the driver, he kept quiet throughout the remainder of the drive. What's wrong, Timothy? I guess you have a natural sound effect in this video in the form of Timothy, my beloved dog. Okay, so like I was saying, the driver knew something was off, but he chose not to comment on what just happened throughout the remainder of the drive. And me and my dad just sat there in disbelief, like, what just happened? My uncles were kind of slow. They didn't really realize what happened because they were busy talking. But all of us were just stunned. Me and my dad had this shared experience. And till date, we don't know what it was. That was super duper creepy. So when I came back home, I discussed this with, actually years later, I discussed this with one of my friends who is a paranormal investigator in the States. And He actually said this, what I saw could be a haunting and of his killing. Like the way he did, this person might have died there. So it's a residual haunting, except in this case, it's on the highway. Maybe the manner of his death, the way in which it transpired, it keeps on replaying in that location. And perhaps that is what causes accidents. So it got us thinking that maybe the car in front of us, which had initially lost control, but it was okay afterwards, maybe they also saw the same apparition. And that's probably what could have caused an accident, but we were really lucky and nothing like that happened. But it was so creepy, and I can't believe that this actually happened. He seemed so real, but the only giveaway, which kind of made me realize it's not an actual person other than the fact that he vanished, is that his eyes were glowing. Like he had no idea what was going on. And over the years, I've heard a lot about this particular place. It's called Kashmiri Gate. That place in and around that highway, that stretch, it's kind of reputed to be haunted. And there are lots of similar incidents that have happened. Not the exact same, but I did hear it from one of my aunts who used to be a teacher in the school. And she actually said that once, okay, I'm sorry if this is moving. She actually said that once her colleagues were coming back from some function and the driver pulled over because he saw a woman asking for a lift on the highway, that same area. And before she could step foot inside the car, he just sped at the speed of lightning. And all the colleagues were really upset with him and they were demanding, what the hell is wrong with you and what the hell just happened? And he said I would have given her a lift and just asked her what's going on because she was standing right there asking for a lift, until he noticed her face and she didn't look human. She had a complete disheveled face and she looked very demonic, and there was something off about her feet as well. You know, in many cultures they say to a lot of entities, maybe like some witches or sorts, their feet are turned backwards. I know that it is there. This folklore is there in India at least. And I think I was watching a couple of YouTube videos where they mentioned how this entity is there in Africa as well, but I'm not sure. But yeah, this actually did happen, and this was the first time I saw an apparition, like full-blown apparition in front of my eyes, and it just vanished. He didn't go through the car, but he just disappeared in front of the headlight. And like I said, there was no way that nobody walks there because that place is just for vehicles. It's a super duper busy highway. And it's not like abroad where the highways are not. I know that how highways are mostly crowded, but over here, when I say it's crowded, it's 24/7 crowded. No cars or other vehicles stop for even a second. So that was really strange and creepy. And it actually did transpire. So I thought I would share that with you. Yeah, so you never know what you're going to run into when you're traveling on the road, either with someone or not. And I think the fact that my dad was there with me and the driver and two other people in the car, that gives this incident a lot of credibility in general. Because when something like this transpires, people always think it's a figment of your imagination or the light playing tricks. But if you go through something like this, then you know that's certainly not the case. Okay, so my dog has spoken as well, and he wants me to stop recording this right now. So yeah, I will share more experiences with you soon. I actually have a really creepy experience to share, and right now, this actually happened last year in an apartment where me and my husband are living in right now. And I thought I'm gonna share some footage of the place where it happened. So I'm waiting to go back because right now I'm at my dad's place. So I'm waiting to go back to our apartment where I'll film a footage of the place and share it with you here real soon. Timothy, what's the matter? Okay, let me see if I can show you who is this little whistleblower behind. Okay, so it was too dark to show my little baby here who has been cooing throughout the video. But here you go, I have my trusty lighter. There he is. What's the matter? What the matter? It's time to sleep. I'm disturbing you. Okay, maybe he's scared. You know, you never know what sharing certain experiences attract. And like I said in my previous video, this place used to be haunted before, so I usually avoid talking about this at late at night, but it's okay, we're blessed, right? We have our angels watching over us, and right now I'm going to end this video, and I hope you all have a good night, pleasant evening, or afternoon, morning, wherever you are tuning in from. Okay, that's a good night from me and Timothy. Stay blessed.